Okay, this is a real quick video about Chicago notation style footnotes or endnotes. Either way, it's the same thing. A footnote goes at the foot of the page, and endnote goes at the end of the document. So here, I call them endnotes, but if I wanted to, I could make them footnotes. This is Word, and this is a pre-made document. What this little number right here says, that 1, says that any information in this first sentence comes from whatever source is listed in the 1. So 1, Willa Cather, a lost lady, I'm just saying it came from pages 17 to 19. If you actually got information from those pages, that's where you'd put them. A full Chicago citation for a book looks like that the first time. Down here is what Cather looks like on a repeat citation. So in Chicago, there's a difference between the first and the repeat. Every time there's a new little number up here, it means that there's new information from a different source. In this paragraph, I put in lots of little footnotes so that you can see how they look for different sources of information. Excuse me. And let's see, I got a JSTOR article in here, and then finally this last little number 7 is a footnote that has something from this book, something from this book, something from this article, and those multiple sources are separated by a semicolon. If you want to put a footnote into something, you go up in Word at least, whoops, sorry, you go up in Word, and I'd go over here and I'd say EndNote, put my little cursor right where I want it. I go up here, I put in an EndNote, bam, and what Chicago does is it puts in, what Word does is it puts in a new EndNote right where you ask it to. Then I would put in my information. Let's say it came from the exact same spot as up there. All I would do, cut and paste, and then I put in a new footnote. Also, Word's pretty smart. So let's say you wanted to put one in here even after you've already written stuff. You just go put in a new note. It already puts it where you told it to. It renumbers all the other ones. So Word is a pretty powerful little software, and I highly recommend you figure out how to insert, how you insert your endnotes using this tool. Don't use references because it's going to get Chicago wrong, and you have to enter the bibliographic information in a different kind of file. Just use the footnotes to create little superscript numbers and then put in the information as you would have it. Alright, I hope this is somewhat helpful. Chicago notation style means little numbers in the text that correspond to sources in the notes. There's a style, there's a format for every different kind of source, but we'll cover that in a different video. This is just real quick, down and dirty. What is Chicago notation style? Well, basically, it's footnote if it's at the foot of the page. It's an endnote if it's at the end of the page. It looks on the surface a whole lot different than MLA or APA, but the information is pretty much the same. The reason historians use Chicago is because we have complicated sources. So we want to have a more subtle way to enter information than just the last name of the author, because sometimes that's not a very good way to cite a historical source. All right, take care. We'll see you guys out there in cyberspace.